Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley and we'll be doing a siege on the Age of Charlemagne. I have two entire armies from Charlemagne bearing down on me, and I'm going to be playing as the Emirate of Cordoba. So now we can see the huge catapult barrage preparing itself, the infantry moving forward, and it is now going to be raining hell upon the city. And they're going to be focusing fire on the walls right here. Going to be just causing all kinds of havoc. I'm going to watch a little bit of this incoming barrage just for the time being, and then we'll go ahead and cover the defenses in the armies. But just wanted to make sure we get these cinematics out of the way. And I'm not sure if they changed the cinematics necessarily for this different standalone, but it's definitely looking very, very beautiful. And the Charlemagne army is letting me have it. Just basically suppressing every single tower I have. Every single counter battery I tried to set up is now going to be essentially demolished. So there you can see all the shots coming down. Let's get a couple more nice angles of the siege towers rolling up through here, very slowly pushing forward. And I guess as we start to look at this, we can take a look at some of the ground forces. Some really cool armored troops moving up, and that is one of the main things that you're going to be noticing. This is almost early medieval times, and so you're going to be seeing a lot of armor. Take a look at these forces. The foot soldiers looking so epic as they move up against the city here. Man, I am just loving the visuals, and I just can't get enough of this medieval setting. It looks super cool. So this army that's pushing up, we can go ahead and cover it somewhat. Is going to be two armies actually attacking together with a bunch of these palace guards, which are super veteran, up through the front. Palace guards also manning the flanks with some of those siege ladders. Guardsmen and different skole knights up through the back. More of these mounted spearmen. A heavy core of mounted swordsmen, double veterans up through there. And then a bunch of these onagers and heavy onagers, large onagers I should say, that we've already been taking a look at. Just tearing this city a new one. They are doing tremendous amounts of damage. There's already going to start to be holes in the defenses. Now let's go ahead and talk about the defenses themselves. So I have some armored archers that I'm sending up. I have other slingers there in the distance, and we're trying to, man some of the walls, try and get some counter volleys. I think we're going to get just that, but my strategy was to not necessarily hold the front, which you would like to do for cinematic reasons, but becomes very difficult when you realize that anyone up on these walls is going to be greeted by explosive rounds. That's just going to blow my dudes up. I think here comes a really well placed one. Yeah, dang. You can see gizzards and little body parts left over right there where these forces are destroying my guys. A couple of my men are going to pick themselves up. That is not going to be the case for this blood-stained patch of wall. Let's go ahead. Oh my god. Man, it's been a while since we've had a nice bloody siege like this, so I hope you enjoy. And yeah, my guys are getting on out of here as the siege towers roll up unopposed. This is basically the best assault you could expect. And meanwhile, the rear ranks of the city are getting completely exploded. I am going to get some counter batteries now, finally, with my artillery. I'm going to reveal that I have it up and running, so getting some massive hits against these units right through here. And so, this is not going to necessarily be as one-sided as they would have liked. They thought their batteries took me out, and coming up on these walls, I mean, take a look at what they have to witness. The city here burning in flames, but I did have some preliminary defenses prepared against these guys. Right through here, crisscrossing, oh my god, they're slaughtering my guys back there. But anyways, I set a maze of traps right through here, some stakes, caltrops, further stakes, all sorts of barricades here, massive defenses. In the back, I had some infantry waiting in the rear here to do some more damage, follow up, but even my forces back here are getting peppered. You can watch some of my catapults trying to get some of the counter batteries. This is going to be the victory point, rather close to the actual walls themselves, so dangerous place to be for sure. And I can't really move too far out, otherwise I'm going to be slaughtered because I'm pretty much outnumbered. So I was hoping to do a defense in depth, which is kind of working, but every single position, look at that, those are not birds in the sky, those are all artillery pieces. now firing amongst my guys. Jesus Christ, this is obscene. So insane. But yeah, like I was saying, I've defended this up pretty well. I have some slingers in the background here trying to suppress these guys as they decide to try and push on me. And take a look at these masses of men. These are not ants, ladies and gentlemen. This is an army of Charlemagne. Let's watch some of these guys as they push up through the walls. They're now going to start to infiltrate these heights. And now I'm going to start to try and target them. You can see my artillery trained on these units here. I'm going to try and land some counter volleys against them while they're sitting here kind of defenseless up on the walls. Here comes this battery that I was talking about. There you go, taking a nice chunk out of them. What I'm trying to do is actually undermine the walls. They've been compromised already, so I figured, if I can take out these walls, take out all the men standing on them, yes, the enemy will have a way into the city, but they've already breached it in any case, and I might as well have the walls take out some of the defenders along with them. The city's in ruins. My front ranks are already in ruins. And yeah, here they go pouring up. Now I do have some reserve cavalry that I'm pulling out of that position. I'm going to try and hammer and anvil this block of units right through here. And this fort wall now at 94% damage. I just need to land, one or two more volleys. Meanwhile, the enemy is still continuing to pour men up into this position. They're filling this up to the brink, and it is getting a bit precarious here. One more shot from my guys will do it in. So I'm going to actually go ahead and stand here and wait. All that you're missing over there is my Berber spearmen holding off against the opponents getting swarmed. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The wall is now going to collapse. Oh man, they got lucky. We must be on there we go. You can hear it starting to crack. Oh my god, 94, there we go. Taking out a huge chunk of the enemy force right through here. And yeah, look at all these guys recently died in that collapse, but that is actually going to allow the cavalrymen to now start to swarm in. This is, look at this, just tore up these units up here. Nonetheless, the opponent is still going to continue to push forward. This is just a crazy swarm through the gates here. It's getting a little bit laggy as these units are now starting to be on top of one another. That's okay, it should clear up soon after that. I just wanted to show you off a little bit of the units right through here. Guess we might as well do some of that. So the heavy cavalry that you have is not necessarily as heavily armored as the cataphracts or cataphractoi that we saw in Total War Rome 2 or even Attila for some of the units. But still, nonetheless, very elite cavalry units, and they're going to be coming here to exploit the rear of this force that's trying to come into the city. Really no rear guard for them, and so now I'm going to charge kind of right through here. You can see the enemy skirmishers just running about. I guess while we have them in here, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these forces. I really like the change of attire for all these units. Looks very cool, and it just has me, salivating almost at the mouth for an official Medieval 3 game. This is as close as we're going to get. The units here looking great, heavily armored spearmen. Like I said, milling about. They're going to feel the wrath of my cavalry now coming and charging them against the walls. But in effect, it's going to just keep pushing them further into the city. And let's go ahead and watch some of the progress of the enemy forces. Looks like they've decided not to push through my highly defensive position, and instead they're going to be going the long way around. They've already crushed through one of my main defensive lines up through here. You can see the remainder of my Berber spearmen. They got almost no kills. That is going to be basically your Eastern spearmen. Very cheap guys, light guys, not going to hold up against Charlemagne units like this with super high armor. And now we can see some of the models on these guys, just crazy amounts of armor. I'm going to continue to pour on the pressure with my artillery, try and exploit that gap right through there. Let's actually go back, sorry. We're going to take more advantage of the beautiful, glorious sights of this game. It is so cool seeing these forces right through here. And I think, again, I'm not sure if they modified anything with the graphics for this update, but it's definitely looking less grim and, oh my god. Oh, there you go. Those are some nice hits. But like I was saying, it's a little less grim and dark and murky as we've seen in Attila, so I like that change. And while I say that, of course, the entire city is going down in flames. But anyways, the enemy has been, continuing to charge on through. I have my second Berber unit right through here. We can watch a little bit of the combat as they attempt to hold the line in shield wall. But look at the comparison of warriors we have here. they're going to beat me. What I decided to do, however, was pull back to this position just so that my archers have an ideal place to shoot from the flanks into this heavily armed force. And that is exactly how I'm going to try and win out, is going to be holding these units and then firing straight into their flanks, trying to expose them to a lot of damage. Let's take a look at some of my archers here. Basically, the best firing positions you could have imagined right through here. We don't quite have the enemy's backs, but definitely expose them on the flank. You can see even more of the enemy forces, clambering all over our walls, but they're still going to get the surround on us. It is not going well, and the pressure is starting to mount here. This should soon push back this flimsy little force, but nonetheless, you can know these Berber levies, it says, have very poor armor, and for cheap units, it seems like they are holding out for a pretty long amount of time. So I do think that this game, especially the new units, I heard that they did some patch changes to change up the health of these forces, so combat plays out rather differently, they last longer, and they change the hit points, a lot of things like that, so that is pretty awesome. The enemy cavalry is now going to be pouring through the breach that we saw in the wall that was created earlier. They're going to be swarming through my city, going for some capture points. The threat being posed here is going to force me to pull back, but that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull forward with some of my Umayyad guardsmen to guard the heights, and then I'm going to form back around with some of my heavy infantry, start to form a shield wall. They're going to absorb that charge from those guys. So yes, they're charging through into my men, but I've been able to block them. And on the high ground, I've been able to place a bunch of my my javelins and my archers. Now they're going to be firing upon this cavalry, which is the precursors to the medieval knights here, and they're going to be not at all in their comfort zone here. I'm going to be basically destroying them. Got them in a good killing ground, and like I said, that is the nature of this battle, was for me to draw the enemy into a killing ground. Speaking of the killing ground, the enemy is now going to start to engage on this position, again avoiding this huge barricaded, staked up area, charging at my slingers. We're going to have an exchange of skirmisher fire right through here. More guys going to be filing into the back, and then some infantry right through there. So I'm just doing holding tactics. Looks like they're going to try and charge right through and break through these barricades. Man, I don't know how they're not getting impaled right through there, but I do have some swordsmen to guard the back. Over here, the cavalry has been all but obliterated. Very happy with that. Trying to save some of my ammo for the heavy infantry, because I know this is going to be a slogging fight for sure. I'm going to decide to charge some of my infantry into the flank of that cavalry, not waste any more of my archers. Those guys are pulling out of position, trying to save more of their ammo. And now we're going to charge these depleted cavalry forces, try and tie them down. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of their models. Looking really cool. And yeah, I'm going to take them out. Meanwhile, my archers here are going to try and reposition to counter perhaps that threat. And this main blob here has pulled through my guys. I'm going to engage with my javelins, not in any anticipation that they will win this fight, but again, delay, allow me to win in other parts of the battlefield and just hold the enemy up while my towers in the distance do more damage. These warriors look so epic. The Charlemagne troops. I love the heavily armored guys like this, looking so cool. And I like the little banners that the men are brandishing. Definitely looks awesome. So now here comes this giant mass of palace guards and swordsmen going to be charging against my men. I'm going to countercharge against these Scola knights, and I'm going to charge right into these spearmen right here, these palace guards who are, like I said, excellent troops. I'm going to countercharge, and this is where we hold them. My archers are going to be pulled into this covering fire position. I'm going to try and shoot into these men, but more reinforcements streaming into the city. My cavalry in the back did as much as they could. You could see the corpses strewn all over there. I tried to go for the enemy general. I don't think I quite got him, but I inflicted a lot of kills, but was finally massacred outside the walls. Looks like through the front I've been able to hold the enemy back. They were able to, or perhaps the fire actually broke through my palisades here. I'm going to have to hold this position with men rather than barricades, but it looks like we've won this fight. A couple of extra units, skirmishers and mounted swordsmen hanging out in the back, but with my own units here, I'm going to be able to force them to go the long way into the bottleneck. Looks like an enemy general has also been killed by the towers, so the morale is now going to start to swing back a little bit in my favor, but still this this is balance of power not really looking good for me. And I still have some reserve infantry, which are going to be pulled into the fight here in a little bit. This is one of the last few guardsmen units coming through here. It's actually going to be the general's unit. So the archers doing whatever they can to try and do some preliminary damage on these guys. And here comes my own general with the heavy cavalry waiting there in the back ominously. And now they're going to start to rev up for a charge against these otherwise preoccupied cavalrymen. I'm going to tell my archers to pull out of this fight soon just because I want a clean charge into here. Meanwhile, I guess while we wait, we might as well take a look at these units. They look so sick, so beautiful. There we go, charging into these this general's unit. Let's watch a little bit of the cavalry action here. And yeah, his men are going down, down, down. Yeah, it's a slaughter, one-sided. So this should be the second general's unit. If I can knock this guy out, I was hoping to actually have a nice morale victory right through here, and it looks like that is actually going to be the case. There goes the guardsman unit. He's going to be going down. I'm going to make sure I chase down that general. And then I'm going to pull through with my cavalry force, reoccupy this position, get the capture point back, and then swing around behind this massive blob and try and land some hammer and anvils. It is a massive blob here. Almost all of the enemy infantry committed. The archers are going to be coming back around the rear. And I'm just holding here with my Andalusian warriors who are tanking it out. And like I said, this could be just a facet of the altered mechanics that they have for combat, the new way that they balance units out, and the staying power of these heavy infantry units is just incredible. These battles will last much, much longer. It allows you time to do holding tactics like this, and then actually maneuver around and enjoy some of the close-ups of the battle itself. These palace guards are not to be underestimated. I figured swords against spears I should do pretty well, but his guys are heavily armored, outnumber me, and very well equipped, and very well upgraded actually. So that's when I'm going to come back in with my archers and start to fire into the flanks of these forces. Let's see, yep, starting to target one of them. I'm going to put on some heavy shot and just try and do everything I can to whittle these forces down. The bannermen here already standing around bloodied. It's only going to get worse for them as they stand under my fire. Let's wait and see when a barrage comes in. Yeah, looks like a couple of those arrows now are going to start pinging these troops. And I do say pinging because a lot of those shots are just going to ding off this armor, but it's going to chip away at their HP a little bit, do some more damage, and hopefully start to even the odds here. What I'm anticipating to do with my archers as well is to use fire shot, whistling shot, all sorts of shots here to start impacting the morale. Then what I was hoping to do is bring my general back around, hit the rear, pop scare, and have a combined effect on them to maybe even try and obliterate those forces just in terms of morale. Being held back by these pesky skirmishers trying to infiltrate my city. We're having none of that. My archers actually being the right-hand men of my general as cleanup crew essentially. Ooh, getting a sick assassination on that guy right there. That was awesome. See if we can't get any more of those really cool shots as we travel down the city here. Looks like we got one man out in the open. Just torn to pieces. There you go, guys. There you go, guys. Waiting for an awesome combat animation. Looks like we're not necessarily going to have one. Just going to get bowled over. And these guys are going to get chased out of the city. My archers are bloodthirsty here. So there you go. They're going to be given the orders to chase after those guys. Meanwhile, my general is going to take it around this side of the battle. And man, going through these cities looks awesome. I mean, I know a lot of this was in Attila, but it looks just beautiful. Here comes the heavy cav. Let's watch them as they go down through the center causeway here. And now you can see my guys over there shooting fire shots. And I'm also going to start to do whistling shot just to try and do a lot of morale penalties. Try and stack those. I'm going to try and charge right through here. I'm actually going to start to get caught up on these pesky peasants one more time. So a lot of my units being held up. Again, this could be some of the changed mechanics where they make cavalry a lot more sticky. I'm not sure if that's the case. And yeah, these routing units are actually defending the rear of their force over there. So I am having trouble enacting the strategy that I wanted to. But it is somewhat working. I am, without even the cavalry strikes, starting to actually break some of these mounted spearmen. Going to start breaking them. Units in the center are going to start to rout and collapse. And I'm going to charge right through the back. However, these forces are turn around. And with their heavily armed spearmen, they're going to do excellent bonuses versus my cavalry. A lot of repel, bouncing back some of the damage that I inflicted on them with the charge. It's going to be repelled back onto me. So my cavalry is going to decisively, pull out of here once these units face against me, but that's okay. It's taking off the pressure from my guys, and oh man, look at these charred bodies. That's crazy. So yeah, they have enough forces to keep me at bay. And actually looks like I ended up breaking those guys. So I'm going to make sure I can try and charge through them, clean them up somewhat, and line up for a charge in the rear. I do also have some of my fresh Andalusian warriors in the back there coming back in. So, while his Papal Guard is starting to get tired and exhausted, I have fresh reserve troops going to get back in. I also have one more infantry unit that I can pull to plug the gap if my Andalusians there go down. Landing a pretty decisive blow into the back of these spearmen. But like I'm saying, they definitely changed something with the mechanics. It looks like a lot more of these infantry with their mass and change attributes are much more resilient to cavalry. So I haven't been able to play too many multiplayer battles against other players to develop, what the meta is like. I guess we'll see that. But I really, really hope it gets moved away from cavalry bowling everything over. That's one of the things that is a huge grind and a really lackluster part of Attila is it all comes down to the cavalry, and they can knock out anything no matter what it is. So I really hope they rebalance that, and a focus on heavy infantry would be really cool, playing out like medieval armies should, you'd think. I mean, knights, okay, granted knights should be very powerful, but not on the level of Attila. Vanilla Attila, that is. But even my heavy cavalry here getting dismounted handedly. Pull out of that fight, try and go after some of the archers that we're looking to reinforce. And then this infantry unit back here, these mounted swordsmen, 238 kills. Man, they were just slaughtering my slingers who have now kind of broken and run. So I'm going to try with my general to clean up these archers and then come back and hit the mounted swordsmen. I'm going to, let this calm down a little bit. I was getting nowhere with my cavalry strikes right through here. I'm going to wait for the enemy to get tired, then commit my Andalusians, and then maybe at the end of it land some decisive cavalry strikes. My archers, however, are out of ammo, which means it's going to be all down to the infantry at this point. Why don't we go ahead and enjoy some of the combat as it plays out in front of us. And again, we're not seeing too much of the match combat animations because of some of the patches and changes they had made to Attila to make it less reliant on match combat animations, which is much better for gameplay. And that's one of the things that they embrace with Total War Warhammer as well. Is you're going to be seeing less of the match combat animations, just like it was in the past. The forcing units to shuffle around and be engaged in match combat animations was pretty beautiful at times, but also really tore the units apart and broke apart their cohesion and all that. Caused a lot of issues. So I'm glad on the one hand we're not seeing that, but then again I would love to see some nice kill animations. Now it looks like my lines are actually going to start to cave and break. My Andalusian warriors, they're going down 140 kills apiece. You know, doing pretty good for themselves. I had to commit my other one. So this is, you know, grinding out. More infantry going to commit to this fight soon, and my cavalry here just trying to delay the action. I'm kind of toying around with the enemy forces here. My general in the back has how many kills? 536 kills. That's obscene. That is incredible. A lot of this being picked up against these enemy skirmishers, and this little swordsman unit basically tasked with delaying my generals from doing anything. They're going to be braced, and once they're completely braced like this, there's not much I can do with my cavalry. So they're going to be chasing after my men. Going to disengage as they form into shield wall, and then they're going to chase right after me. So I'm going to say, alright, fuck it. You want to see Cav? Commit to that fight. Now we get a pretty good strike. But even those guys are going to, you know, they're still alive. They're going to start picking themselves up. So clearly, cavalry versus infantry not doing as much as it could. I didn't get quite the wind up that I would have liked. What the hell is this tower doing? It says it's on my side and it's targeting. I swear it shot some of my guys. They may have played around with some of the tower mechanics as well. It doesn't seem quite as accurate as it otherwise would. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, it seems to be targeting these forces and is not, you know, oh, that's interesting. It looks like they may have changed how frequently the towers, you know, how good the accuracy is. So that's another good thing to note right through there. Yeah, general, we're going to be pulling back. I'm going to try and re-engage in this fight where it's just become a grinding fest. The palace guards here chewed through my men. They're going to be engaged with my archers, who can tank it out for a little while. Along this front, looks like the last of my guys are being committed. Countercharge. This is throwing it in, ladies and gentlemen. This is all my infantry. The entire, you know, every card has been played. This is it, and now let's just see kind of what comes out of it. I'm going to actually break some of these mounted spearmen. It looks like 2 of them are going to start to break, but still they have 5 units left there. 5 in the back dealing against one of my Andalusians. So I'm hoping to land a nice crucial strike with my Umayyad guard cav coming in through here. Let's fast forward just so we don't have to watch too much of the carnage. We've seen a bit, you know, enough of that, I would say. So here comes my cav. Gonna give it a movement order and then attack order right there, and then actually successfully getting some nice knockdown against these guys. Palace guard down to 73, so that did a nice chunk. They still have 1 palace guard here who has yet to lose a single man as he butchers his way through my archers. So here comes my general coming back to save the day. And again, the combination of hammer and anviling is going to be much more prevalent in this game. I feel like with the holding power of your units, cavalry is going to be much more useful in terms of hammer and anviling, because the anvil can hold out much longer with the changed mechanics, and then the cavalry isn't as powerful from the front, so a lot of incentive to do the hammer and anvil exactly as cavalry should be used, not in massive charges right through the front. So I'm glad to see those mechanics taking place, and here in one of my very first battles, seeing it play out almost entirely. So I'm eager to see, like I said, how this plays out in multiplayer. I'm now going to charge the rest of my guys into the fight. The men are wavering all around. The last of my units up on that bank right there just got slaughtered, and the enemy forces are charging up through to the city center. So a valiant defeat right there. I held out as much as I could, but at the end of the day, you know, I was truly outnumbered, but an epic fight, definitely. I think what we saw bodes well for Age of Charlemagne. Some of the mechanics were definitely playing out well. The staying power of the units, the heavy armor of the units, the towers not being as accurate. Lots of little changes here and there that I think hold a lot of promise. Let's go ahead and end the replay and take a look at some of these remaining forces here, see how they did. So my guys over on the left, you can see they're 2720 deployed. I lost 2,000, so almost all the way down to the bottom, but I got a tremendous amount of kills right through there. And let's take a look. Archers doing pretty good. Slingers, catapults doing okay in their counter batteries, but mostly my heavy cav here with the guard cavalry doing well. And these Andalusian warriors wrecking house. I think these are going to be the bread and butter of the Emirate of Cordoba's heavy infantry. They did really well. Meanwhile, you could see the Kingdom of Charlemagne here doing a lot of their work with the palace guards themselves. The rest of the skirmishers not doing super well. Artillery there, yep, raking in the kills with their early shots against my guys. Pretty devastating. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.